would I rank LeBron over Kobe in terms of best of all time? No. It's something about 5 that beats 3.
Now, is Mike still hating on LeBron? Is that what we're seeing right here? Is he still hating on LeBron? Is he hating on LeBron because LeBron's supposed to be the greatest of all time according to all these 90s babies, 2000s babies? First thing when people talk about Kobe versus LeBron, they'll always bring up the intangibles or the physical skills. They'll bring up pure talent. They say LeBron is 6'8", 260, can defend any position. He could carry a team. He's led his team to a bunch of finals, etc., etc. He's a 4-time MVP. They just break down the physical when it comes to LeBron James. It's a lot of physical stuff. Like Kobe couldn't do this. Kobe's not as great of a passer. Kobe's not as efficient as LeBron James. And then when it comes down to ring talk, it all fades away. And basically, that's what Michael Jordan's argument is saying. Like, when you have two players that are basically not necessarily equal, like they both play different positions, but when you have two players that are same kind of caliber, how do you differentiate the two? How do you differentiate a millionaire and a billionaire? Well, you look at a millionaire and versus another millionaire. Do you have 1 million or do you have multiple millions? You know what I'm saying? So you have multiple millions. Okay, great. Now, how many multiples do you have? So if you look at a 100 millionaire versus a single millionaire, like a $6 million man, you'll see there's a difference there. Even though the person with 6 million might be more talented, they could sing, they could do this, they could dance, they could do etc., etc. It doesn't matter because the 100 millionaire basically has shown you that he's done more with what he's had. And it's not a knock on LeBron James. Like, a lot of people get it twisted. They always feel like Mike is just hating on LeBron. He's not hating on LeBron. He's just basically saying that LeBron James, quote unquote, has all this talent. He's 6'8". He does this. He could do that. He could play any position. He's one of the greatest passers, one of the greatest players. But when you look at his potential and how he's maximized everything, he's maximized his gifts. But there's something that he hasn't maximized, which has basically led him to 5 losses in the NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything LeBron does is great. He's a multiple champion, multiple MVP. He just doesn't have that killer instinct. And that killer instinct has left stuff on the table for him in terms of 5 losses in the finals, period. Anybody can argue with that. When you look at Kobe Bryant necessarily doesn't have all the talent that LeBron James has. He doesn't have the weight. He's not, quote unquote, a great passer, or he might be inefficient because he took a lot of tough shots. But at the same time, he's won more. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will say, well, LeBron James has always been the best player on his team, and Kobe wasn't, because Kobe, he won 3 championships with Shaq. Even though Kobe wasn't the best, he was a co-star. He wasn't like riding the pine or whatever the case when they won those 3 championships. You remember against Indiana, Shaq fouled out and Kobe clinched one of those games. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like the whole Kyrie Irving and LeBron James situation where Kyrie's like, look, if I don't hit this 3, Cleveland doesn't have a championship. LeBron doesn't have his 3rd one. Well, basically, with Kobe and Shaq's situation, Shaq could have won rings in LA. I don't think he's winning 3 straight without Kobe. Because here's the thing about Kobe. Kobe defended the best players on the wing or perimeter or whatever the case, from Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Reggie Miller, you name it, he defended them. Kobe Bryant also doodled all of those players. And that's because Kobe has that killer instinct. And that's the one thing that LeBron James essentially lacks. Like, a lot of people get it twisted when people say, like, they like Kobe over LeBron. They're like, how could you, they're looking at LeBron now. LeBron's in his prime, and basically nobody can basically touch him. But people tend to forget what Kobe was doing to people. 81 points in the game. When the Lakers were horrible in 2006 or 2005, he had like 4 straight 50-point games. I mean, there's so many things that Kobe has done that people just necessarily just gloss over it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will say, well, Kobe didn't win that many MVPs. LeBron has 4 of them. The reason why Kobe didn't win MVPs, we're gonna keep it all the way funky here. Kobe, from that rape case, he never recovered in terms of his image during that time frame. So for a 5-year window, the NBA and voters were voting everybody else to get the MVP because number one, the Lakers were bad. Number two, Kobe was just coming off that rape case and his image was shot. So there was no way that he was going to get MVPs. If you check all those years when he didn't win from like 2004 to 2009, he had statistically better numbers than every single MVP winner. All of them. Tim Duncan, all of KG, whoever you want, you can name it. Kobe had better numbers than all those guys. Essentially, what happened was the whole rape case, it plummeted his whole career. Like he could have had Kobe basically could have had 3 more MVPs. He could have had 4 MVPs or 3 MVPs. So that's neither here nor there. But back to what's essential. Back to the real talk. The chips. The chips are what matters. And when you look at Kobe's career, he's 3-peated back to back. See what I'm saying? Like, he's only had 2 losses in the finals. LeBron has 5 losses in the finals, and it's all because of the lack of killer instinct. That's basically all it is. And Mike is not trying to diminish LeBron, but he's basically saying, like, everybody's so quick to compare LeBron to me, and he don't even have that much hardware. Like, when it comes to that hardware that counts, not MVPs, not individual accolades, the hardware, the hardware, the rings, he's not even up there with me. And that's all. That's basically what it is. And when you look at Kobe and the way that he played in a tough Western Conference. He didn't have the ease of forming a super team and going to the 4 straight finals. He had to go through the Spurs. He had to go through the Rockets. He had to go through the West was just stacked. Sacramento. Like, do you guys not remember how good Sacramento was? How good the Rockets were? How good even Dallas. Dallas had Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. So I'm saying, so like Kobe had to go through a ton of adversity from playing, because he didn't come in the game and start. He came off the bench. Remember, Eddie Jones was on the team. From missing airballing shots to playing the toughest competition to dominating the toughest competition. You can't name one player in the NBA that Kobe has played against that he never dominated against. He dominated against LeBron. He dominated against Kyrie Irving. One time against Team USA, Kyrie Irving's talking all the smack, talking about, you got to guard me, you got to guard me.
You have to guard. No, you have to guard. You're not gonna lock me up. You're not gonna lock me up. It's over. A year from now, next summer.
50%, but the Knight has not hit a 3. Irving has that ball on a string. He and Kobe going one-on-one. Crowd enjoying it right now. Here they go. And Kobe blocks it.
Kobe Bryant locked Kyrie up. He locked him up and swatted his shot, told him to get out of here. T-Mac and Kobe Bryant, all those duels, head-to-head duels, Kobe used to duels on T-Mac. Straight give him the business. Like, anybody in the league that Kobe's ever played against, from him being old, from him being younger in his prime, he's dueled on them. And on one occasion or another. Dwayne Wade, locked Dwayne Wade up, hit game winners over Dwayne Wade. Like, anybody you can name that he's ever played against, he has hurt them and hurt them badly. Like, either defensively, locking people up, shooting jumpers, hitting fadeaways. There's just so many intangibles about Kobe Bryant, and it's just all from his killer instinct that people don't give him that respect for. You got to give that man respect. Like, every time that people just straight up say LeBron is the best, it's like, it's weird. It's because it's just like, LeBron has so much talent, but he just has so many losses. And it's like, how can you have so many losses when you have quote-unquote super team? If you look at Kobe, with all his championship runs, 1-2 punch. He's the one, or Shaq was the one, Kobe was the 2. When he went back-to-back with Pau Gasol, Kobe was the 1, Gasol was the 2. Like, Kobe has never had the luxury of playing in a weak Eastern Conference. He's never had the luxury of sitting out games during the season to rest and all that stuff. He's never had the luxury of playing with 3 Hall of Famers consistently, or, you know what I'm saying, or future or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, after Shaq, who on the Lakers is like comparable to Chris Bosh? Like, really? Like, a guy that was basically a franchise player and was comparable, you know what I'm saying, could take his own team to the playoffs. Who else? Derek Fisher? Rick Fox? Like, let's get real. Like, let's really get real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When Kobe had Pau Gasol, he had Andrew Bynum. After Andrew Bynum couldn't hold the team by himself. Lamar Odom was 6th man of the year coming off the bench sometimes, most of the times. Like, who else? Looking at LeBron James playing with 2 other franchise players, and he has 5 finals losses. I guarantee you this. If you ever gave Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, we talking 4 straight, period. We talking 4 straight championships, period. Because Kobe's not going out like that. Is Kobe in his prime? I don't think so. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just 2 different kind of animals. Like, one guy is a beast in LeBron, and then you got Kobe, he's just pure animality. Like, the man is like a living legend. He doesn't get enough respect, and this is what Jordan is basically highlighting. I don't think he's trying to necessarily disrespect LeBron. He's just not willing to overlook somebody as great as Kobe. And to tell you the truth, he won't even say Kobe could tie his laces. He'll say maybe Kobe would give me competition one-on-one. But he won't say like Kobe could beat me. Like, Jordan is he's a very like vindictive man. Like, he's like one of those guys. You would think he never won anything. Like, he's like an old man who's never won. But he's just the kind of guy who's very competitive. And when he's looking at the landscape of the NBA and stuff like that, he's like, well, Kobe's retired. Right now, Kobe has a better career. I'm not going to take him. I'm not going to take LeBron over Kobe. And LeBron still has chapters in his book to write. At the end of the day, thank God for these 2, because after Mike retired, we thought the NBA was going to collapse. So they both are great. You don't have to pick one or the other. It's just all opinion.